Hello, welcome back to our channel. We're going to talk about Returnal. This was an anticipated game as well, PlayStation exclusive.
Not to mention the most misunderstood game before it came out
Oh
for a lot of
yes,
people.
oh yeah.
For some reason, for
Okay,
some reason, it was the most misunderstood game.
and that was because most people were expecting a story-based game, and when he got it and started playing it, he realized,
Well, let's get this straight real quick. It wasn't just the fact that they thought it was a story based game. They thought it was a story based game that was checkpoint to checkpoint, like this guided tour experience that you would
yes,
get from like God of War, and not realize that it was which for some reason they don't read descriptions, that it was a rogue light, which makes it a rogue like type of game where
no save
you die, you
points.
start over again.
There's no save points in this game. Um,
Which they have developed an idea that most roguelikes do have, which it, like, let's just say you gotta hurry because let's just say you gotta take your girlfriend, or you're gonna meet your girlfriend, or you're gonna meet your wife somewhere, or your best friend,
or you're gonna meet
or
your homeboys, yeah.
or your homeboys are saying get on COD and you're playing Returnal, you know, they're going to develop a temporary save checkpoint that will delete after the point that you um, at the point that it saved at. So you would come back and you would be right where you left off. But that there, this game isn't the type of game where it's just like a guided tour experience. This is a game for people who like want a challenging experience but want to have something fun. And to be honest, it's really, really fun. If you're the type of person who likes roguelike games, wants to devote their time to a game like this, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Everything about it is perfect. Another thing people thought was this game is going to be in 4K, and for some reason they don't understand that this game would not work in 4K as a standard. They have it at 1080p checkerboarded up to 4K, but it's at 1080p but checkerboarded there to 4K. This game, if you were to have it standardized at 4K, it and running at 60 frames per second, this game would break your console in half.
I
Like
was
it,
when this first game first came out, I was one of the ones who thought this game was going to be a story when I first saw this game come out. But when I looked deeper into this game and read the description, which I don't know why most people don't, you realize it's not. It's a rogue like game, which is a rogue like game. Uh, that's what I knew what I was expecting when I got to play this game. The graphics in this game are phenomenal. They're great. Very, very well done in their graphics. They did not miss a beat. Everything is beautifully done. Got the gameplay. You see, just amazing how the graphics are. It's just great experience to go through. Um, each revive you do changes your loadout. You start with, and you also get deeper into the game and get used, and you unlock different things after each death you have. You'll be seeing different types of enemies. Not all enemies are going to be the same that you face. Only thing that does not change when when you get revived after you die is you do have permanent unlocks that stay unlocked no matter how many times you die. So that is actually something that's cool. So you don't have to lose the
well,
most.
those permanent unlocks also don't change based on the biome that they're in too. So, like for instance, your sword and your teleporting ability obviously comes in your first biome, and then once you get past the first biome, you go to the second biome. You get your grapple hook. You get into the third biome, and then you get your scuba gear, which allows you to go underwater for some stupid reason. She's already wearing an like a space suit that basically, for some reason, she can't swim with off the start. Don't know why. Then you finally get the gear to be able to go underwater. Then I don't know if there's anything else past that point, but as far as the permanent unlocks is for ability purposes, those ones come later within the game. Obviously, as you get further, you'll get more stuff like you'll have the ability to hold up to 3 different consumables. You can have up to 5 parasites. You can. It's just like the if you actually deep dive into the game and you are able to just kind of withstand the fact that you're dying and just enjoy the game for what it is, you'll see that like you'll make progress. You'll kind of click with the way the game plays, and not realizing that you're dying because you suck. You're dying because you're not getting great rolls, and sometimes you'll have those rolls that will take you hours into the game, and then when you look at the clock, you're like, oh my god, it's 4 o'clock. It's just one of those games where you just got to kind of like sit back, relax, don't care too much about dying, because when you care about too much of your dying, you're looking at it from a competitive aspect instead of looking at it from an enjoyable aspect. That you just didn't have a great run that run because you just didn't get great, like you didn't get great loot. Once you get great loot, you're gonna realize you're gonna live a really long time, and you'll be able to actually see everything play out and be able to withstand taking a hit from a boss, or uh, you fall from really high and you land on the ground. One of your parasites has, if you fall from if you'll suffer from fall damage, you'll receive damage. But if you actually spent the time to invest into your loot and also upgrading your suit integrity, which is your health bar. If you spend time, upgrading that, you'll start to see that you'll be able to withstand some damage. You won't get hurt as hard when getting hit by a boss, stuff like that. You'll stay alive a lot longer, and also realizing like where to look for things makes sense. Like you're looking at all these things, and you're realizing that like all these different things that you're doing are making your run better. Also knowing what to use your keys on, like do you use it on this door? Would you rather use it on a chest, et cetera, et cetera. Also determining also your how much ether you have. Are you going to waste all your ether on malignant keys? Or are you going to use them all uh, on getting the items from the I forget what they call it. Uh, there's like a little statue outside the front door when you first revive. You're able to donate ether to, and it will give you a talisman back, and that talisman then gives you a special ability, and it's randomly generated. Sometimes you'll get a really good one from it, and then sometimes you'll get one that doesn't really do anything for you. So, wisely
Little
spending
side
ether
note,
long way.
when you have parasites, parasites do give you an extra chance to fight on. So
But parasites have positive and negatives. One thing that people don't realize is your artifacts are just helpful, but your parasites can make or break a run. They can make or break your run. Some parasites will actually have like really good help, and then really really um small negative towards your run. And then sometimes you'll get one where it has very little help, and then a really, really, really big steep negative on you, where like uh, I don't know, you'll get like a small little bonus to your suit integrity, but you'll have a 50% more fall damage, and that could hurt you if you get something like that in an early part of your run. If you're in the earliest part of your run, let's just say you're in the first biome and you pick that one up, that could break your run because you picked up a parasite just to pick it up. Make sure when you're looking at these parasites, you're looking at everything. This game isn't time based. It doesn't care how long it takes in that run for you to complete the game. It only cares that you're paying attention to everything that you're picking up, and everything that you're picking up can be, or it can be impactful positively or negatively in that run. You just have to analyze every little detail when you're playing this game. If you're not paying attention to every single detail and you're just picking everything up, you're gonna die because you're not paying attention to what you're picking up. As far as guns are concerned, pick up anything that's always higher than it's currently at. So if it's a 1 right now and you found a gun that dropped at a 2, you pick it up because it's gonna be better. It's gonna be stronger. It's gonna hit harder on the bosses. But if you like the captains and all the other bosses, like if you're running a 1 against the boss, and you haven't upgraded to that 2, that 2 will be so much more impactful, and it may even have a better alt fire. It just goes a long way of actually paying attention to those little small little details. You don't really need to really worry too much about where it's being placed until like later in the game when you get to like end of biome 2, biome 3. Like that's when you start to really have to care about like the perks within the gun, like distance or stability, stuff like that. You don't need to really care about that until like later in your run. But when you start getting like in the earlier parts of your run, the higher the better, because like for instance, like bonus damage. You kind of want the more of the bonus damage in the beginning because the bonus damages actually help toward bosses when you really don't have enough, like you don't have enough artifacts or you don't have any parasites on you. It's better to have that bonus damage because that helps out toward your damage toward the enemies. As you get later, you'll find artifacts and uh, parasites that will actually go towards your damage, will increase your amount of alt fires that you're sending out. It's just you just have to take into consideration of every little piece. Like the beginning is more about just being logical with every single move you make.
Okay. Um, there are different locations on this in this game. They're called biomes. There's 6 in total biomes. Um, so each one's going to be different than the last. So when you move up, uh,
5 biomes.
so when you move up to each biome, you're going to be running and trying to clear each biome. You're going to have a boss at the end. There's 6 biomes with 5 different bosses. So
No, there's only 5 biomes, dude.
6 biomes. I already looked it up.
There's 5 biomes, dude.
There's 5 bosses, but 6 biomes. So no matter which location you're at, which biome you're at, it's gonna be different than the last one you're at, and of course each death changes the location you're at. So and then everything changes. The map changes. The outlook changes. Everything changes after each death you have. Um, so each run is basically like a new experience after you die and looking for stuff again in different spots, and you get to experience new parts of the biome you're in, depending on which one of the 6 you're in. Um, this game is definitely a type of game where you do have to be checking your surroundings and scavenging around to see what's around each and every bend and what's different.
The thing is, the 6th biome, just so you know, the 6th biome is a secret unlock. It has nothing to do with the story. The story ends at 5.
Story ends at 5, but there are 6 biomes. That's
There's 6 biomes, but it's a secret unlock, and there's not very many who've unlocked the 6th biome because they don't know how to unlock it.
okay. There you go. So that's more information about each biome. So now you know about the 6th biome, which is unlock biome, and people
But
want to.
every biome, all 5 of the biomes are not secret unlocks. They're very self-explanatory. You just go through a portal. The portal takes you to the next biome. The nice part is if you die within, let's just say, biome 3, or you die in biome 4 or whatever, and you're in biome 1 when you die, biome 1 has a direct path uh, to the next biome that you were in. So let's just say you were in biome 3 when you died. There's a direct path from biome 1 to biome 3. Same thing for biome 4. If you die in biome 4, there's a direct path in uh, biome 1 that takes you to biome 4. So if you die in those biomes, there's a direct path to them. So like biome 2, if you died in biome 2 and you started back in biome 1, you just go back to the teleporter, and teleporter takes you directly to biome 2. So each biome has a direct path from biome 1. So you'll notice, if you're actually noticing when you're playing, you'll notice each one is directed to like a certain way to get there. So like for instance, biome 3, after you complete biome 1 and you get into biome 3 and you die, the way back is based on the fact that you have your grapple hook. So your grapple hook in biome 1, there's a spot where you grapple hook a couple times and it'll take you directly to the citadel. So each each time you die, don't think of it like, oh, it's a total bad thing. You can always end up right back where you were. I always recommend before going back there, you at least complete most of the locations within biome 1 before going back to biome 3. So that way you're a little bit stronger than you were like at the beginning of biome 1. So that being said, I mean, as far as this game's concerned, it's enjoyable to those who love roguelikes. It's not so enjoyable for those who do not like roguelikes, do not like dying, they hate dying, and they want to live for forever in a guided experience. It's a challenging game, but you have to be willing to accept the challenge and find a way to make a strat work.
Uh, this game does have its its funness when you play when it's just the type of game you like to play. So people like these types of games definitely find it fun, enjoyable. The main character lady though, I don't see the point of her at times. It doesn't seem like she's really that important.
As far as the gameplay is concerned, it's great, but for her, like she's not memorable to me. Like at times, I step back. Sometimes I'm like, "What's your name again?" Like there's nothing memorable about her. Partially due to partially the fact is like she's the only character in the story. There's no one else. Like an autobiography, 90% of the time, and like there's no like points of the story where like someone says her name to her or like anything. It's pretty much just her the whole time. Like it's like being stranded in the middle of the desert. You don't have a cell phone, and you're trying to find your way back home. Like there's like no remembering her. It's just like, oh, right. It's what's her name trying to get through 5 biomes to find her way to, you know, the end of the story. Other than that, like the game is fun. Like the gameplay itself is fun. She's just not memorable. It's just like Immortals Phoenix Rising. Gameplay is fun, but you're never gonna remember the main story, the main character's name of the story, unless you look at the freaking title. So outside of that, like the the amount of hours that you can dump into this game because of gameplay, if you find it fun, you will literally dump hundreds of hours into this game because there's so much lore.
So we'll give our two-man crew appraisal for this game.
This game is an 8. Please stay tuned for more content. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you can stay tuned for all of our latest content.
And thank you guys so much for watching.